Good evening, welcome to North West Tonight with Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story. The family of Emily, who died after misdiagnosis by a doctor's assistant, say guidelines issued in the wake of her death will save lives.
Had she been sent to A&E, she would have lived. To hear that, she would have lived. Those 4 words will live with me forever.
A physician's associate diagnosed anxiety before Emily died from a blood clot. Also tonight, more mould misery, the Tameside family living with mushrooms sprouting from the ceiling. On International Women's Day, we're at a hospice in the region where almost 90% of the staff are female. How the sale of dates at Ramadan has helped a Lancashire charity raise £5 million for those in need.
And it's been quite a cloudy day today. That said, we have seen it break a little bit for some brighter spells, but a keen easterly breeze. How are we doing for the weekend? Join me at the end of the programme. I'll give you all the details.
A mum from Tameside has told North West Tonight that she fears for her children's health after discovering a mushroom growing from her son's bedroom ceiling. Stacey Blackwell has lived in her house for 8 years with her 3 children. Jigsaw Homes, who owns the property, say they're working with Miss Blackwell to try to resolve the issues with mould. But she feels that they aren't taking her concerns seriously. Our reporter Mairead Smith has been to see her this afternoon.
So how long has it been like this?
On the ceiling, probably about 2 years, but as time's gone on, it's come further and further down onto the wall.
And you can see where you've been trying to clean it off. Then what happens when you clean it off?
Give it a month or 2 and it's back again.
And all around the window frame as well, on the ceiling. What have Jigsaw said to you about it?
It's condensation and they wanted to do a mould wash. But to me, it's not condensation. I don't think condensation would be this bad and all around my house.
How does it make you feel coming up the stairs every day, down the stairs every day, passing this?
It's embarrassing. Like, I don't want people coming to my house because you can see what it is. I feel like my house smells of damp. I feel like it's going to make us poorly. Obviously, I'm worried. I've got 3 children. I'm worried about them.
Jigsaw give advice on how you should try and, fight against this in your house. Keeping it warm, keeping windows open. Are you doing everything you can?
Yeah, that bathroom window, it was broke for a while. Well, for a long time. The mechanism had gone on the handle, so the window was never shut.
We've seen some pretty bad stuff, but this isn't the worst.
No.
The worst thing was something you discovered just at the start of this week.
Yeah.
Let's go and have a look. This looks like a mushroom.
Yeah.
When did that appear?
I come home Monday after work and it was there. It wasn't there Sunday night. So that's how quick it's come up. And then that's what's made me more worried than anything, obviously because of the spores that come off mushrooms. And to me, it's very dangerous.
2 of your boys should be sleeping in here.
Yeah.
One of them feels that it's not safe to, the other ones had to go into another room.
Yeah.
What impact is that having on them?
My eldest is about to start his GCSEs, so obviously he needs that structure, and I just feel like it's unfair him having to go and stay at other people's houses when this is his home. And obviously, to me, that's my child. I want him home with me, so that hurts me.
What if you would hope that this would be something that would be urgently looked at?
Yeah, so when I rang them Tuesday, obviously Monday they were short, I had to wait till the 2nd of April for an inspector to come out.
So that is 4 weeks?
Yeah. People shouldn't have to live like this. People pay rent for the homes to be safe, to be warm, for it to be a family place, and right now it doesn't feel like that. So it's just not nice.
Well, the company involved, Jigsaw Homes, has tonight issued a statement saying that residents' health and safety is an absolute priority and that it is working with Miss Blackwell to resolve the issues. It says it's completed work on her bathroom and has lined up work to fit an air vent, extractor fan and thermal insulation. Next tonight, the mother of a woman who died after being misdiagnosed by a physician associate says new guidelines will save lives. 30-year-old Emily Chesterton from Salford went to the doctors and thought she had seen a GP. She died a few weeks later from an embolism. The British Medical Association has now released new guidelines saying these workers should be banned from diagnosing patients. Katie Barnfield reports.
She was such a beautiful girl. She was so kind, empathic and gentle, and she was an amazing singer.
It's nearly 2 years since Marion Chesterton lost her daughter. After going to the doctors, Emily was sent home twice, a mistake that turned out to be fatal.
She said that she'd got a sprain, anxiety and perhaps long COVID. She was wrongly diagnosed. She had a pulmonary embolism. She started going really downhill and her heart stopped in the ambulance.
Emily and her mum both thought she had seen a GP, but it was actually a physician associate employed to assist doctors after just 2 years of training.
But because I believed she'd seen a GP, I put my trust in that. Had she been sent to A&E, she would have lived. To hear that, she would have lived. Those 4 words will live with me forever.
Marion is now working with the British Medical Association, who have just released new guidelines on what medical associates like this should be allowed to do. The guidance says they must not be responsible for initially assessing or diagnosing patients. It also says they should work to a traffic light system to indicate which tasks they can do, and they should not say they're one of the medical team without clearly stating their job title.
What difference do you hope this new guidance is going to make to other patients?
It'll save lives. People have already lost lives, not just Emily.
Despite cases like Emily's, the government wants to triple the number of physician associates within the next 10 to 15 years.
In lots of places, they've been put in the position pretty much as a GP. There's someone they can ask if they want to, but if they don't know what they don't know, things are missed. And that's really the danger.
The government say physician associates are safe and legislation regulating them will be in place by the end of the year.
With her being the orange girl, yeah, that's our colour now for Emily. So we had orange roses in the church for her.
Emily's family say more safety measures are urgently needed to stop any other lives being lost. Katie Barnfield, BBC North West Tonight in Salford.
I can't believe she's not here.
An inquest has ruled multiple failings allowed a paranoid schizophrenic to be freed from prison before he went on to stab a man from Merseyside. Jacob Billington from Crosby was on a night out in Birmingham when he was attacked in 2020. Zephaniah MacLeod is serving a life sentence for the 23-year-old's manslaughter. The coroner ruled there were lost opportunities to effectively manage MacLeod's condition, while the family criticised the prison and probation service.
There's also a wider issue around the management of severely mentally ill individuals who are violent and pose a risk to the public. Agents need to be staffed, managed and monitored adequately in cases like ours and other recent cases. If not, this will continue to wreck innocent people's lives.
There's been an outbreak of measles in Preston. Lancashire's Director of Public Health says while numbers are currently low, it is a highly infectious disease that can spread quickly in areas like schools and nurseries. Dr. Sakthi Karunanithy is urging parents to ensure their children's MMR vaccines are up to date. Lord Coe, who masterminded the 2012 London Olympics, is to be part of a task force looking at options for redeveloping the Old Trafford area of Manchester. Seb Coe will be joined by Metro Mayor Andy Burnham, ex-Manchester United captain turned businessman Gary Neville and Trafford Council. They're expected to make recommendations later this year, including a possible new Manchester United so-called Stadium for the North. Final preparations are being made in Cumbria to welcome back Donald Campbell's Bluebird after 23 years away. The wreckage of the hydroplane was recovered from Coniston Water in 2001 by Bill Smith, whose engineering team then restored it. After a bitter row over ownership, it is now to be moved from Newcastle tomorrow to a purpose-built home at the Ruskin Museum. The owner of a cafe that started off as a vegan-only and then began serving meat after a downturn in business says he's been unable to sleep after getting abuse. No Mass Gastro Bar in Macclesfield opened 4 years ago, but it hit the headlines when it changed its menu to include meat. Since then, takings are up, but a different battle has emerged, as Phil McCann reports.
So this is our most popular dish.
Adonis is used to cooking meatless meat and, of course, vegetables at his cafe in the middle of Macclesfield.
Our vegan meatless meat.
He is vegan, so is his wife and his 2 children. And when he came here from Greece, he spotted a gap in the market.
When we were dining out, we had minimum to no options to eat. Desserts, 0. Ice cream, maybe sorbet, and that's all of it. So we were thinking, why not create a business model according to our beliefs.
But now there's a new menu in town, and controversially, it includes products from animals, like this salmon. This cafe has a lot of competition in Macclesfield, and with the cost of living rising, custom here was down about 40% over the last year. And costs, of course, have been rising too.
Price inflation, minimum wage goes up every year. Everything has been more expensive, suppliers.
Do you think if you hadn't made the change, you would have gone bust?
Yes. Sadly, every month we're topping up to pay the wages, the rents and the bills from our savings.
But since hitting the headlines, this new menu has unleashed a series of 1-star reviews and even hate.
They've been sending messages telling me to die, me, my family, we're not vegans, we are fake. The first week I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because I was reading all these nasty things.
And the change cost a lot of money at first.
So we decided to follow this rule, but have just dairy, meats and raw meats in this fridge. So as I said,
and then vegan is in the next fridge.
And vegan is in the next fridge, yeah.
Most of the menu here is still vegan, meaning meat eaters are now meeting and in some cases eating meatless options they might not otherwise have tried.
Meat eaters are going to come here now and they can be exposed to what it's like to have vegan food and see that it is normal and it's not just gross and full of whatever they say it's full of.
People think that because it is vegan or vegetarian that there's not a lot of option. So you just need to try it out, really. Like I did, got dragged in.
Adonis says this is not a change he wanted, but it is one that's paid off.
So this is our salmon linguine.
Phil McCann, BBC North West Tonight, Macclesfield.
Well, now to the latest in our series about Wigan and Lee Hospice. Almost 90% of people who work there are women, and that figure is echoed across the sector. Well, today is International Women's Day, so I've been to meet some of those behind the care and support provided by the hospice.
There's been a few incidents overnight, but...
Working in a hospice can be stressful and often upsetting. They deal in life and death every day.
We look after people across the whole adult age range, really.
18.
An emergency call, but this time, thankfully, it's a false alarm. There must be times where it's really difficult to do this job day in, day out.
Yeah, it can be difficult. Recently we've had a number of younger patients and that can bring its own challenges.
And one way they cope is by being a team.
There are really difficult times, but we do chat together and share things and, you know, and get together. We get together outside of work, so yeah.
Yeah, a close team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dee's our mum.
Yeah.
Oh, is she?
Dee's everybody's mum.
Your mum?
I seem to be, yeah.
You look after them all?
I do, and they need lots of support. But yeah, when times are tough for them, I think we're all there for each other, and that's so important.
The modern-day hospice movement was established by Dr. Cicely Saunders in the 1960s, and today it is mainly women who work in them. At Wigan and Lee, 88% of the staff are female, from the chief executive, doctors, nurses, housekeepers and volunteers. Lillian's been volunteering here for 27 years. And how often do you come in now then?
Just once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah.
Is that enough? Would you like to do more?
No, because I think it's because I'm getting a bit older. I'll be 80 soon, so.
Well, do you love it?
I feel absolutely blessed to work here. I feel it's a blessing to have a job here and be able to make a difference to the people coming in, the patients, the relatives, and also the volunteers.
She's more like my mum.
It might feel strange for some to hear laughter in a hospice, but here you do, lots of it.
Yeah, this is my domain and I absolutely love it.
Does it feel like work?
Yeah and no. Every day is a different day, and every day is a challenging day because you don't know, depending on what families you've got in, what patients you've got in.
You're one of the cogs in this brilliant machine, aren't you?
Yeah, you don't see yourself like that. You just want to do it because you want to do it for the patients.
And that's what it's about. On the inpatient ward or in the community, the staff are there 24/7 to care for the patients and their families during the hardest of times. And thank you to all those wonderful women for the work they do. But of course, 12% of the workforce are men as well, so we mustn't forget them. They do a fabulous job as well. Right, we're going to move on to sport now. Richard is here. Hello. Big weekend. Looking at the future of Rochdale, but first of all, we've got to think about that huge match on Sunday at Anfield.
It's massive, isn't it? Yeah, not a title decider yet, but really could be a big pointer as to where the Premiership trophy ends up. Liverpool, top of the table, hosting the champions Manchester City.
Title race decider. I don't know who brought that up. I think that's really early. If you go through all the different possible scenarios, and then I don't think after whatever result anybody should open the bottles of champagne.
Yeah, always was a pleasure, and it will be tomorrow too. So battle and try to win the game.
Now, it's been a whirlwind 24 hours for Rochdale that will hopefully mark a new dawn for the cash-strapped National League club. Last night's extraordinary general meeting agreed changes that could lead to a takeover, with 2 offers of intent on the table. And representatives from an American group will be at tomorrow's home game against Oxford City. So could it be the bright new start that Dale's long-suffering fans have been dreaming of? Preparations at Rochdale today for a match with a difference, where there'll be potential new American owners in the stands and a renewed sense of hope for many supporters.
Hopefully big things going forward.
Are they interested in football, or is it just a passing phase?
Very hopeful, very hopeful.
It follows what was a radical move to restructure the club's shareholdings, with 9 million new shares created, about 90% of the total, which in the club's view now opens the door for a takeover or major investment.
By creating those shares that we're going to sell for just under £2 million, that money will go directly into the club. If it wouldn't have gone through last night, I'd have been sat here talking to you about possibly entering administration.
World Soccer Holdings have signed a letter of intent to buy Rochdale. They're an American company based in Texas. They already own a sizable chunk of MVV Maastricht. The Netherlands' second division club's financial problems appear to have eased since their investment 2 years ago. In an earlier statement, the CEO of the company, Scott Dyer, said, "We are really pleased to be moving forward with investment in Rochdale AFC. We have great respect and admiration for the history and the culture of the club." From the outside, it's difficult to judge just what sort of potential owners World Soccer Holdings would be. They haven't been in football that long. Why do you believe they're the right people to come into Rochdale?
That's what we're going to find out now with the talks. We'll be asking all those sort of questions of World Soccer Holdings.
Do you think, from your dealings with them, though, Simon, that the Rochdale fans can rest easy that they can trust World Soccer Holdings?
I think they're trustworthy people. Yeah, all my conversations with them that have been going on for probably a month now have all been very positive. They're quite open and been willing to talk to people.
There are still clearly several hurdles to jump over before any takeover is completed. But with the restructuring that's been given the go-ahead and another offer on the table as well, Dale fans will hope that this really is the start of a new era for their club.
For Rochdale to lose the club would be just disastrous. So fingers crossed, we're back and we can stay and we can build on it.
He'll hope that the next step will be a takeover to bring the club back from the brink of administration and, in time, bring the good times back for Dale. Let's hope so. Really important few weeks for Rochdale. Best of luck, by the way, to Liverpool's Nick Ball, ahead of the biggest fight of his career so far. He's on the undercard of Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou tonight. He takes on Ray Vargas for the WBC featherweight title in Saudi Arabia, Annabelle. And also best of luck to Sale Sharks women playing at the AJ Bell Stadium against Trailfinders tomorrow.
Brilliant. Thank you. And You're talking about the big match at Anfield. Is this the last time that those two heavyweight managers are going to come face to face in the league? Guess it will be, will it?
Yes, unless... no, it is. It will be.
Yeah,
it will be, because, of course, Liverpool are in the Europa League. Yeah, I think it will be. Almost certainly in the Premier League it is. Yeah, and big games to come. City have got Arsenal in the next league game, Liverpool, Manchester United, a big FA Cup quarter-final. But this will be a big pointer, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Richard, thank you very much. Now, the holy month of Ramadan begins this weekend, and one important element of it is charity. Now, the Date Project, based in Blackburn, is marking 10 years of raising money for a number of initiatives. And in that time, it has sold 1 million tins of dates, generating £5 million for good causes. And this year, the money will go to support those injured and displaced in Gaza, as Eunice Muller reports.
Oh, wow. There you go. Thank you. Enjoy.
Sue leads a team for the Date Project here in Blackburn. Customers who buy tins have the fruit delivered. The nationwide charity was set up 10 years ago.
So the range of causes can be for displacements of people in war-torn areas, it can be for orphans, it can be for needing facilities for water, getting aid on ground for bread, and a lot of basic needs.
Up to 20 volunteers are dropping off tins in the run-up to Ramadan.
I mean, we take things for granted every single day. Some of the basics, like water, food, electricity, a nice office. There's people in the world that are not as lucky as us. So if we know that our proceeds are going to them, it's rewarding, it's satisfying.
But they're delicious, they're really fresh.
Muslims break their fast with dates at sunset. These were sourced from Jordan. Zakia Kalu is a mother of 2 young children.
Obviously, they are available around the time of Ramadan more, which is brilliant because we're ready and prepared for our fasting month. We want to buy something that is going to be useful and it's going to get eaten and not thrown in the bin. Obviously, the main cause is the fact that it's 100% profits going to charities.
Word has spread beyond the Muslim communities.
And the more I sort of read about the charity and the more I read about what she's doing during the month of Ramadan with these dates, the more I felt that it would be something that would be really good to be involved in.
Across the northwest, the Date Project has 400 volunteers. 1.2 million tins have been purchased, raising over £5 million. That's paid, for example, for 20 million loaves of bread and 150,000 litres of water. Bilal Sadat works for the local authority. He's also well known in Blackburn.
So one of the pillars of Islam is charity, zakat, and it's a town where people kind of increase their giving. So this is one way that we can do it, knowing that this organisation will help us achieve that.
The focus for many this year is aid to Gaza, but there is also an ongoing need to help others who may have been forgotten. Eunice Muller, BBC Northwest Tonight, Blackburn.
What a fantastic achievement. 1.2 million tins of dates sold. Unfortunately, I don't like dates, but it's for a very, very good cause.
I love dates.
You love dates,
and now you're going to hear my tummy rumble throughout this entire forecast.
Hold on. You can have one in a minute.
Please do ignore it. Hello there. Good evening. Do you know what I've loved this week? I've been able to go outside without a big coat on. Today it came back because of that pokey breeze. Many of you have emailed me about it, along with an awful lot of cloud. This is how it looked this morning in Cheshire, in Wilmslow. Alison, thank you kindly for sending that photo in. You can see it tried to thin and break, and it did do for some parts, particularly by the coast. Westist was really bestest today, although bitter, which made me laugh. We did see it brighten up a little bit, but yeah, that breeze really took the edge off temperatures, which were a bit suppressed today, below average for the time of year. Now, this weekend, there is rain in the forecast. Not a huge amount, although a bit more widespread for Sunday. Tomorrow, we're just looking at a bit of patchy rain. We hold on to that breeze. It will start to ease down on Sunday. And what's going on? Well, it's all due to low pressure, and it's throwing weather fronts. Now, a lot of it is staying down south, but we are going to see some patchy outbreaks of rain through Saturday. And like I said, that at this stage still looks to be the better day of the weekend. if you're out and about through this evening, breezy conditions, quite gusty winds. A lot of cloud. For most of us, it will be dry. If you're travelling overnight, I think for Pennine routes, it could be a little bit damp as opposed to wet. Temperatures down to about 4 or 5 degrees. So we will stay frost-free, but a lot of cloud out and about. And again, through tomorrow, it's going to be western coasts is where we'll fare best to see some spells of sunshine. So some patchy outbreaks of rain through the morning. It could linger a little while for the Pennines and for the Fells, but we brighten up for most of us, become dry into the afternoon, but really gusty winds. Now, here we're looking at around 30 to 35 miles per hour. I do think for Cumbria we could get more like 45, if not 50 mile per hour winds into the afternoon. So that's going to have a knock-on effect on tomorrow's temperatures. 11 degrees, 52 in Fahrenheit. That's just a little bit above average for the time of year. That low pressure system starts to push away, but as it does, it's got a wrap around on it. So that's going to give us the rain as we head through Sunday, clearing into Monday, leaving us still with a lot of cloud. So this is how it looks at the minute on Sunday. Now, although there's a lot of blue on the map, at this stage it looks to be fairly light rain. It looks like it's going to start to push away. For the Isle of Man, we could see it lingering into the afternoon. A lot of cloud lingering into the afternoon, with temperatures a little bit lower because of all that cloud. Temperatures getting to about 8 or 10 degrees. But as we head through Sunday, the breeze will start to ease down, and it continues to do so overnight into Monday. When we start the next working week, cloudy once again, maybe a little bit damp, but rain amounts will be limited, and temperatures around about 10 or 11 degrees, which is bob on average for the time of year, Annabelle.
Lovely. Richard's written in, he wants to know when we're celebrating International Men's Day.
Ooh, it's a sticky one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every day in our house, Richard.
Yes, yes. But it is Mothering Sunday.
Yes.
On Sunday,
If you are celebrating, reminiscing, remembering,
yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, I think I'm getting a nice afternoon tea made for me
I'm
and
making afternoon
Grandma.
tea for all of the women in our family.
What are you doing?
Every year.
Well, whatever you are doing, enjoy it. Have a lovely weekend.
Take care.
Bye-bye.